Hi, good afternoon all, and this is Ninod Pillai from Prokarma Technology Office. So I think today what we are trying to do is discuss about microservice toolkit for Java. This is a microservice development toolkit that we have built that will help a team from an organization to build microservices quickly and deploy them fast, and work with it in a much seamless fashion. It supports a lot of good features. So basically, it's multi-cloud deployment option is available. That means you can deploy either to Spring Pivotal or to any cloud that supports, for example, Docker containers. You can have a very good service registry integration. It supports good log management and visualization. You can do good tracing. It also generates API documentation via Swagger default, so you don't need to do anything for that. If it intercepts all your REST controllers, it can automatically generate documentation for that. It has well integration with security, so if you can you want to build a microservice and try to secure it with say OAuth 2, it's available. It has good visualization, UI is available along with it. So what I plan to do with this script demo, with this short demo, is that I want to show what that archetype is, how you can use it, and then whenever you have time, you can just play around with it. Okay. So long story short, let me take you directly to the code base. So basically, it's a Maven archetype, and as you all know, Maven archetype is nothing but a Maven project using which you can create other projects, right? So basically, you can consider Maven archetype as a cookie cutter, and using that cookie cutter, you can cut identical cookies. In the same sense, we have built an archetype for microservices, and you can generate many microservices based on the same template that you have. So the first thing that a team who has to build microservices has to do is, I've opened my console here. You have to go to GitHub and check out the archetype. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm going to GitHub, check out all the archetype code. So archetype code is inside my local. So if you see here, I've just checked out this guy here. Now what I'll do is I will just go to that directory, and if you see there is a POM file, okay, I will just say go ahead and install the archetype. So when you do Maven install, what basically it is doing is it is putting all the dependencies, taking all the dependencies and installing this onto your local M2 repo. Now in my case, it just finished in 2 or 3 seconds maybe, but if you're doing it for the first time, it will take a minute or so, to take all the dependencies down. So once this is done, I think you have installed the archetype. The next step is basically you go ahead and create a microservice, right? So you can go ahead in your Eclipse and basically say, okay, go ahead and create a microservice, right click new, select this archetype. So you can do that, and then it creates a microservice in Eclipse project. Eclipse editor. But for me, a much simpler option is I can fire one command line here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, go ahead and generate a microservice project which uses the archetype that I installed, and please provide specific version. This is my group ID and this is an artifact ID. So maybe 1.4 or 1.5. Okay, let me put 1.4. So that's a name. Okay. So once I provided this and press enter, what it is doing is it is trying to generate a microservice project. So this microservice project is getting generated, and the archetype enters in an interactive mode where it tries to collect some information from you. It asks you, hey, what's the version you want to give to this microservice? Okay, I give 1.0, and then it says, hey, these are all the default properties that we have configured. So for example, if you want to send whatever your health stats to dashboard, if you want to register with Eureka, if you want to send tracing signal to Zipkins, if you want to put your log to ELK or any other log management tool you have, and so on and so forth, is asking you all the default configuration. I'm saying okay, for this demo all default looks okay, and I'm saying yes. And in meantime, what it did is it created the complete archetype for you. Okay, so the archetype is generated, the microservice project is generated, sorry, not the archetype. And here you see this is the project we created, right? And if you look into the source, these are all the resources I have. And if you look here into my code, this is all the code base that I have. to save time, I have already imported a similar one into my workspace here. So if you can see, this is the project, similar project that we created. This is all the code. As I told you, it has capability to default generate API documentation. It works on concept of all Spring profile based on whichever environment you are in. You can use that profile, so developer can use a local profile for a local deployment, dev profile for pushing this onto a dev cloud environment if you have one, or a prod profile to directly go to the prod, right? It has integration with Cucumber reports, and this is all the code, right? It's exposing REST URL in the form of controller. There is configuration for security. There is also a lot of resource configuration that we have done that integrates with other components. So for example, as I told about microservice dashboard, microservice admin, ELK stack, whatever is there, it starts to integrate with that. Now what we did in short, we installed the archetype, we generated a microservice project, we imported the microservice project, right? That's what we did. So once I imported it, if you see here, this is my Eclipse, I need to build and push it onto the cloud, right? So first step for me as a microservice project is come and check what's my default profile. Okay, by default it is dev. I don't need to change anything. If I wanted to do it on local, I would have replaced this with key local. You see here I have installed Cloud Foundry plugin. So basically these are all the Cloud Foundry projects that are running in Prokurma's own cloud, and I belong to an organization called Peak Enterprise Integration. That's the practice that I work for, and these are all the projects which we have deployed and running. So what I can do basically is I can just right click on this project and say deploy onto Peak Enterprise Integration. So what it will do is it will select the manifest YML. It says which cloud you want to go. I said, hey, I want to go to the default cloud, which is Prokurma Pivotal Cloud, and I look, everything looks okay, and I'm saying okay, go ahead. So now what it is doing is it is trying to take the project, create a droplet out of it, and pushing it onto the Cloud Foundry. This may take some time. So what we will do is this is the first part of my demo. Okay, in the next part of the demo, what we will do is we will visit various UIs and various integration that we have done. We will go through all of that, and to give you a better feel of when a microservice gets into this ecosystem, what are the various options a developer get to see. Okay, so I think with that, here I am ending my first part, and the remaining part will continue in the second session. Okay, thanks all for watching, and have a wonderful day. So go ahead and check the part 2 of this demo to know the next pieces of it. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.